Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good afternoon and welcome to all. Today we will have a public lecture by Puniyani. He is actually the chairman of the Center for Study of Social and Secularism, Mumbai. And he had been associated with IIT Bombay for a long time, both as a capacity of a medical officer and as a professor of biomedical engineering. And he is one of the leading activists of secularism and human rights. So there is a brief bio that has been shared with all of you. You must have read. I'm not going to waste the time in reading it out. And I just wanted to make an announcement that he's the author of several books, and the books are on display outside. So those of you who want to procure a copy can do so after the talk. Professor Puniyani. I would like to call upon Professor Guru Prasad Kaur and Professor Kuntal Ghosh to present the memento and felicitate the speaker.
Good afternoon. Do you need that? Do you need that? No, do you need that laptop and all that?
No,
I don't need.
you don't. Before we start this today's talk by Professor Puniyani, I request Paramita and Guruda to please come on the stage. Paramita has taken the initiative to organize this program, and Guruda is also actually architecting in Italy. Please, you come here. Paramita. So before Professor Puniyani takes over, I have been told to say a few words on the situation and in which we are actually organizing this seminar. So let me start with ISI. I don't know whether the speaker is aware of it or not, but we are all aware that our great emblem, the banyan tree, during the first convocation, it was Professor R.A. Fisher who first used this word banyan tree. And the banyan tree has many activities all around the tree with a central purpose, where the trunk is there to keep the tree alive. So is the Indian Constitution. We have a preamble which defines that we want to make India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. And it talks about justice, it talks about liberty. So around that trunk, the Constitution ensures rights to all weaker sections of the society, be it the religious minorities, be it the backward castes, be it the states around the so-called union, be it the women, everybody. So within the diversity, just like in ISI, the banyan tree is a symbol of unity among diversity. In our country also, it is around this constitution that we build this entire diversity. And just as we know that statistics is a key technology, here harmony is the key technology. So the present situation is such that this harmony is at stake. But interestingly, during the Ram Mandir inaugural, the so-called Ram Lala Pran Pratishtha, which we had a circular and the institute was half-day closed. During that time, the RSS Sarsang Chalak, the Pradhan, Mohan Bhagavat, he also talked about discord. He said that when Lord Ram left Ajodhya, there was discord in Ajodhya, and he had to leave Ajodhya to bring harmony back to Ajodhya. And that happened. If we say that Ram is a mythological character, or whatever, the story goes that peace returned to Ajodhya. But what is happening today? The bhakts of Lord Ram, instead of creating a harmony here, instead of dispelling the discord here, the bhakts of Mohan Bhagavat who talked about discord are actually creating new discord every day. Otherwise, why should in Ajodhya at that time there will be chanting that we want to form a Hindu Rashtra? Why should there be a chanting that ye to Sri Jhaki hai, Kashi Mathura Baki hai? So we are in a situation where it is not harmony, but it is discord, disharmony, which is being propagated every day. And harmony ceases to be the key technology of Indian constitution, of the Indian state under the present regime. I give you one example. The National Forum for Communal Harmony, just as ISI is an autonomous research institute under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, the National Forum for Communal Harmony is an autonomous organization under the Ministry of Home Affairs. And that National Forum for Communal Harmony, during the National Integration Week in November, you know that every year from November 19 to November 25, there is a National Integration Week. And in 2023, during that National Integration Week, this Ministry of Home Affairs organization, which sponsors different organizations, youth, women organizations, to organize festivals, to organize interesting things for the sake of country's unity, they gave a peculiar circular. They said, and mind the name of the organization is National Forum for Communal Harmony under Ministry of Home Affairs. They gave a circular that during this National Integration Week, you organize seminars on national integration only. And then they said that please, there are several organizations who work both on integration and harmony. For example, I know of a very good women's organization which was formed by Sarojini Naidu so many years back. So they have a wing in national harmony and national integration. So they were told in this language that for the time being, please don't concentrate on national harmony. You only organize program on national integration with the slogan Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. So national harmony is gone according to communal harmony. Don't use the word communal harmony. The circular said, imagine a government home affairs ministry is propagating such circular to other organizations for this region. Recently, we got another circular in ISI where the Ministry of Home Affairs has instructed our mosque, our ministry, to, as is usual, observe January 30 as Martyrs' Day. It has been a long tradition to observe January 30 as the Martyrs' Day. Now, we all know that why January 30 is Martyrs' Day. It was written in that circular that to remember the martyrs of Indian freedom, we want to celebrate this January 30 as Martyrs' Day. But as we all know, that Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was not murdered before freedom. He was not sent to the gallows by the British for conducting freedom fight. And in 2023, during this national, during this Martyrs' Day, our beloved Prime Minister, he said that in this Punya Tithi, as you know, the death anniversary is called Punya Tithi in Hindi Shastra. In this Punya Tithi, I pay my respect to Mohandas Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhiji, but at the same time, I pay my respect to all the freedom fighters. Not for once is it uttered that to save communal harmony, for the sake of communal harmony, this person gave his life. So naturally, they are trying to move away from communal harmony. We are not against freedom struggle. Nobody is against freedom struggle. We are all for Netaji. They can give half-day leave for Ram Mandir incarnation, but they can't give half-day leave the day after, that is 23rd January, Netaji birthday. That was not given. So you see that it is this freedom struggle or freedom fight is a pretext to make Gandhiji, to send Gandhiji into oblivion because he stood for communal harmony. I don't want to take much of your time. I would like to end with one or two last words, that it is not only Gandhiji that is being targeted. Our first Prime Minister, maybe you may be politically against a particular party, you may talk against, but he was not only the first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, not only one of the architects, we along with Professor Mahalanobis for forming this institute, but Nehru was a freedom fighter himself who spent almost a decade of his life behind jail, and you are using any word against him, any type of bad sentences against him always. Is this harmony? Is this the harmony that Mohan Bhagavat is talking about? Is this against discord that he is talking about? Look at the states. All the central agencies are coming into every state and they are creating a discord between the union and the states. The states, we know that law and order is the subject of state matter. But what is happening? We are seeing that law and order has also been now taken care of by the central agencies. And when they suddenly barge into some person's house, if there is a discord, then they say that why not the local police is taking action. So today they have gone to those regions along with local police. Today they are saying that union and state should work together. So I would say that people have made them understand that union and state should work together and not strike a discord between national agencies and the state police. That is how they are spreading discord. Everywhere they are trying to spread discord. It is not the harmony that is their agenda. So I don't want to take any time away from Professor Puniyani. I invite him with the belief, with the hope that this card was this Ram Mandir card. We are doing it at a time when this Ram Mandir agenda took place on 22nd. It is not for nothing that we have chosen this date. We have chosen this date, we have talked among them ourselves with this in background. One thing we have to keep in mind, I think, that they have struck a discord even among themselves. They played the trump card. They wanted to get through with the power once more, another election, another victory. But they have played that trump card. But they have created discord among themselves. That is why all these Jyotish Pit Shankaracharyas, all these Puri Shankaracharyas, they are saying that there is on one hand, there is a political Hindu. On the other hand, there is a huge number of devotee Hindu. If you look at the Karan Thapar interview of Jyotish Pit, of Shankaracharya of Jyotish Pit, he clearly says that on one hand, there is a missed call given by Amit Shah that those are the political Hindus. And on the other hand, there are many believers Hindu who do not like all these things, politicization of religion. We keep faith on that. We keep faith on all the secular-minded people, on all these secular-minded Hindus. We hope that they will understand what is happening, and this discord that they have created, even among the Hindus, will possibly go against them. It is with this belief that I end my brief introduction, and I request Professor Puniyani to come to the stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends. Hello, good afternoon. First of all, I am very grateful for being invited here. And before I begin my talk on pluralism, because whatever is happening today, whatever is happening today is primarily an attempt to attack the concept of pluralism and the whole concept of Indian nationalism which goes with it. Before I go further, can I confirm from friends which language is preferable, grasp-wise, Hindi or English? English is okay for all? Okay, fine. So friends, as my in the introduction, Professor has already pointed out so many concerns which are going on, and these are constructed around religion. First of all, let me also point out that even religion is not a unified singular entity. There are multiple streams within any religion. You take any religion of the world, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, you will find multiple streams within that religion also. And as we were talking about harmony, harmony basically stands for a peaceful coexistence. And the concept of harmony in India actually has been very, very old. Today it is coming under a great attack. But if we look at Indian civilization, we remember great emperors. Of course, I am not votary of the kingdoms and the type of social relations which went on with kingdoms. But overall, Indian society, human society has been trying to imbibe best of the things from ancient past while trying to develop the newer relationships towards equality. So when I'm talking of this harmony and pluralism, let's see, even in India, we have absolutely great traditions which upheld harmony and pluralism. Let's begin with one of the great emperors of India, Emperor Ashok. Now, Emperor Ashok, I of course want to just add a single sentence to this, that if you recall, our Nobel laureate Amartya Sen, he was asked as to who are the two great emperors of India, and he named Ashoka and Akbar as two great emperors from India. And about Ashoka also, when we know that Ashoka himself embraced Buddhism, and at that time, of course, there are historical records which are engraved on the stones, and he said that in my kingdom there are people of different religions. Like I will name that there were Ajivikas, there were Jains, there were Vedic Brahmins, and Buddhists. These are the four main religions. He said, but all of them have to have a equal right to exist as citizens. I as emperor, am like their father, their guardian, to ensure that all their interests are taken care properly. So this is as far back as Emperor Ashoka goes. Now, of course, then many kings came and went. We don't have to uphold the values of kingdom. But second major emperor which I will come to is that Emperor Akbar. Today, of course, talking anything positive about a Muslim king is nothing short of a crime. But about about Akbar, I will say, Akbar in Fatehpur Sikri, he built a special place of prayer for all the religions. And he was so receptive to the ideas of different sects and religions, of course, Hinduism included, that one there is an interesting tale how receptive he was to the ideas of different religions, that some Jesuits came and met him. And he discussed with them so animatedly. Jesuits come under the impression that he is shortly going to become a Christian. But of course, obviously, it was not that he was to become a Christian. Similarly, he discussed with Hindus also, he's a different spiritualist also. That's how he came with the concept of Sulekul, which again can be called as harmony amongst different religions. And he went to the extent of making the foundation of a new religion, Deen Ilahi. Of course, it did not pick up as a mass religion. But question is that this concept of harmony was there, and this harmony was also going along with interaction of different communities. I began with Ashoka, I came to Akbar. But of course, Indian history has seen lot of different immigrations from northwest particularly. Other three borders, of course, from Malabar coast, the traders from Arab countries used to come, and it is through those traders that Islam came to India. Now, it is just contrast to what the person whose name he has said about RSS chief. I'm not going to name him, but this Islam did not come from the Muslim kings as it is supposed. The Islam came through the Arab traders on the Keral's Malabar coast. Now, similarly, earlier to that also we see that Greeks had come here, Shaks had come, Huns had come, and different people contributed to the ongoing culture here. Now, culture is a very complicated thing, but very most enjoyable thing, something which we live all in all our life. And what culture is there today? If we think it is just belonging to one religion, one religious sect, that's a mistake. The Indian culture as such has evolved through multiple centuries, and this culture as it developed, uh, something was there right in the beginning, even before Aryans came, note this, I am saying fully responsibly. Aryans came here from Russian steppes mountain region. Now this I am saying on the basis of population genetic studies, the best of which will come in the book called Early Indians of Tony Joseph. So of course this again is a politically contentious issue because some people feel Aryans are the original inhabitants of the country. But I want to say that people kept coming here, and as Nehru points out, that India is a unique place where one after the other layers of civilization, culture, people came, and without disturbing the earlier ones, they added on to it. And it is this integration of diverse cultures which went on into a very rich, thriving civilization and culture over a period of time. So this, I must say, of course, I compare it with a very popular this thing. We all must be now used to pizza. Pizza, you see, pizza is not a single layer. There is a base. Then there are other layers and layers and layers which go on adding and which contribute to its richness over a period of time. So same way, of course, Nehru's analogy is very different. I am trying to simplify for my understanding that as pizza has different layers, and they don't take away the strength of each other, but they actually contribute to the whole thing as far as the final outcome is concerned. So similarly, in Indian culture, if we see that right from the beginning, even before Aryans came, the natives who were here, then Aryans came. After Aryans came, then from 7th century, Muslim traders came from here, Malabar coast, and later on, of course, even Christians came here. But I'm not mentioning much about Christians because Christians are anyway like a salt in the dough. Just 2.3% of Indian population, very small, and many religions developed here itself. Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, they developed here itself. But the type of understanding people had with each other was extremely profound. And of course, the civilization is never smooth. There are always conflicts for power, there are conflicts for wealth. Now, these conflicts for power and wealth many times also took place under the garb of religion. And those things are many times misused in today's context to demonize the other community. Like earlier, I see a lot of commonalities between three words. Like, of course, there are a lot of meaning. I will try to answer the specific questions around that. Now, some kings, when they wanted to expand their empire, they use some sort of a religious category. Like a Muslim king will use the word jihad. Jihad now has come back thanks or curse to the American imperialism in the form of politics of oil. That is another thing. But many Muslim kings launched their offensive in the name of jihad. Hindu kings, not to be left behind, had Dharma Yuddha. and Christian kings had crusade. So of course there are a lot of things common, like there is a heaven, there is a Jannat, there is a Swarg. So many things are common, and why these things are common, we need to give a thought to it. But overall, Indian culture, if we see in its microcosm, different components have been added by different people coming from different religions. I ask a very simple question, just for our own understanding. How unconsciously things become a part of our culture, that we have to see. Now today, of course, many, as the latest projects are going on to change the educational system and try to introduce a lot of things which are related to Vedas, but I have nothing against Vedas, but exclusively trying to impose things in a selective manner has its own problems. So in Indian culture, as we see, of course, kings had their own fights, but kings were not fighting for religion. Let's be very clear. Despite kings fighting with each other, despite kings being belonging to one religion or the other, the pluralism in the society thrived. And that pluralism we can see as an example in Indian society in abundance. Now, that's these two contrasting examples I will give, that in Indian society also we see. I will then try to come to explain how this conflict in the name of religion begins after the British came. Before that, let's have a bit of a look that there are kings belonging to one religion, kings belonging to another religion, but religion was not the basis of their fights. So two simple examples I'll give. Not too many of them. There are plenty in my understanding, but one or two I'll give. I hope you will all remember. Unfortunately, many of these examples are from North India in my talk, so you will pardon me for that. But you will all remember Akbar, and he had a battle with Rana Pratap. Now, as our power structures change, many times they want to change our books also. That is going to happen soon, probably. But once what happened in Rajasthan earlier, a government came with a sectarian agenda, and there the education minister somehow felt that in the books it is described that in the battle of Haldi Ghati between Akbar and Rana Pratap, Akbar had won the battle, Rana Pratap was defeated in the battle. Now that education minister, as per his political ideology, felt, how can we show our great Hindu warriors as being defeated? So simple. You have all the powers to change it. So the book was changed. What came into be? That in the battle of Haldighati, Rana Pratap won the battle, Akbar was defeated. And to celebrate this, I am adding, to celebrate his victory, Rana Pratap ran away to jungles and started eating the grass roti, and that's my addition to him. Anyway, now why they want to show that Hindu kings are always victorious or Muslim kings are always defeated? That's not the point. What we have to understand, that this battle was not related to religion at all. We are talking of Haldi Ghati. There is a Akbar's army on this side, Rana Pratap's army on this side, and when you see Akbar's army, Akbar himself is not there. Of course, those times that concept of taking casual leave, sick leave was not agreed. It doesn't apply to kings anyway. It applies to the people who are ordinary mortals. So Akbar was not there. Who is representing Akbar in the battle? It is Raja Man Singh. Who's Raja Man Singh? Raja Man Singh is commander-in-chief of Akbar. So in Akbar's army, you will join me to say, in Akbar's army, Hindus are there. In Akbar's army, Muslims are there. Then I come to Rana Pratap, Maharana Pratap, we all identify. Some of you in close to my generation, probably nobody is there, but some elder generation must have used a scooter called Chetak. Yeah. So Akbar, Maharana Pratap himself is sitting on that great horse Chetak, in whose name that great scooter came in India. So he himself is leading the battle. and he has two major generals under him. Name of one of them is Ram Singh, and the other person is Hakim Khan Sur. So I'm fond of asking whether I'm right or wrong. So Rana Pratap's army, is it constituted only by Hindus or Hindu Muslim both? What do you think? Both. Akbar's army? Both. So is it a battle between Hindus, Muslims, or is it a battle between two kings? It is a battle between two kings. Is it a battle for religion? Not at all. It is a battle for power. I'll go further. This was mainly on the issue of the designation which Rana Pratap should be given by Akbar. Now what happens after Akbar's death? Jahangir becomes a king, and Rana Pratap is succeeded by Amar Singh. So the issue was, a Hindi word I will use, 5,000, 10,000. These are the designations, like associate professor, assistant professor, full professor, super professor, something like that. So this was like 10,000. So Akbar was refusing to give the Sazari Oda post to Rana Pratap. And when he was succeeded by Jahangir, Jahangir offered to Amar Singh, hello, our parents, fathers had fought on this issue. I am offering you 10,000, 10,000. Amar Singh said, thank you very much, I'll be with you. So they become friends. Their fathers are fighting with each other. So here, this becomes a ground for communal forces to say Rana Pratap is a great Hindu nationalist. In this enlightened audience, I want you to think whether kings can be the representative of nationalism, whether kingdoms and nation state are the same. These are the questions I want to pose to the enlightened audience. Anyway, so Rana Pratap is now a national icon for Hindu nationalism. So, but this is as far as kings are concerned. And the most hated king in India, if I ask you if you can help me with the name, the person who's hated most as a anti-Hindu, tyrannical Muslim king, can you name that king? Aurangzeb. Thank you very much. And just I will add a small rider to this. Once I happened to go to Pakistan. Don't worry, I came back safely. Okay. Now, there I used to reverse the question. I used to ask, hello, tell me who has been the greatest, noblest, most religious king who ruled this part of the country? And what was the answer? Aurangzeb. Same was the answer. Anyway, hell with, no, I don't know. I don't want to send anybody to hell. Wherever he is, let him be whatever he is. But this Aurangzeb, now of course Ram temple issue is over. Now they are going to go to Kashi Vishwanath. They have to have some issue because they don't want to focus on education, health, employment, well-being of average people. So they will now go to Kashi Vishwanath. They say Kashi Vishwanath temple was destroyed by Aurangzeb. Very correct. And this is for once is a correct one. About Babri dispute, I don't want to go in detail. If you have asked a question, I will go into that. But this Kashi Vishwanath was destroyed by Aurangzeb, accepted. But same Aurangzeb also gave donations to many Hindu temples. So what do? Like you may be knowing that our young great actor Alia Bhatt and her husband, beef-eating husband, Ranbir Kapoor, they happened to go to Ujjain, to Mahakal temple, and there was a board of no entry for them. Oh, he eats beef and your mother is a Muslim. You can't come to the temple. Anyway, I'm not concerned with that. I'm more concerned with Ujjain Mahakal temple. Aurangzeb had given donation to Mahakal temple. Record from Dr. Vishwambarnath Pandey book, Farmans of King Aurangzeb. And that was not the solitary temple. I don't know. I want to make it slightly more politically relevant. You must be knowing about Operation Kamal, which keeps happening wherever BJP gets defeated. So in our Maharashtra also they applied Operation Kamal, and 40 of Shiv Sena MLAs, they had to go away from Bombay. So where will they go? They will go where the BJP government is ruling, where BJP government is ruling. So Shiv Sena MLAs are welcome. But Rahul Gandhi is not welcome. That's why there is an obstacle to his Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra everywhere. Okay. So these 40 MLAs went there. What is the main part of the story? I'm going more into the violence. What is the main part of the story? They, in Assam, Guwahati, they also visited a temple called Kamakhya Devi Temple. And surprisingly, Aurangzeb had given donation to that temple also. So he destroys one temple. And why does he destroy that? Hello, why does he destroy that? This I will have to talk indirectly, because directly, if I will say, I will not. I don't want to face the fate of Professor Ravi Kant, my young friend, who told the real story on the TV debate, and next day he was in jail. So I will tell it in the symbols. Why was Vishwanath temple destroyed? Because some queens had gone to visit the temple, and probably inside one Mahant was like our Asa Ram Bapu. This is okay. So kings had protested, or they said, okay, if this temple is unholy, out with it, we'll have a fresh temple. That is the story. So Aurangzeb is demonized because he destroyed the temples. Then, actually, in India, the biggest harmony is seen in the religious area. I don't know much about bowl singers, but you can think more about the background of bowl singers and the type of songs they sing. But Indian culture as such is a mix of many religions, many religious traditions are very much intermixed. And same way as far as we talk about temple destructions were not done because of religion. Temple destructions were done mainly for, number one, for the sake of wealth. And of course, many times I am fond of asking question, do you know the richest temple in the country today? And what happens if the contribution from that temple comes to this institute? What will be the status of this institute? Just imagine like that. Anyway, a lot of money is lying there in Padmanabh Swami temple. 6 temples were open, and a property worth of 6 lakh crores is lying there. So I'm just giving hint to the people who you can understand what is to be done. So temples were repository of wealth. Many kings, Hindus as well as Muslims, destroyed it for the sake of wealth. And today, selectively, how that came into being, I'll come into that. So similarly, I am fond of quoting one great Hindi literary book, Raj Tarangini, written by Kallan. Kallan is a poet, Hindi poet. And in this book, he writes that in 11th century, Kashmir had a ruler called Raja Harshdev. Raja Harshdev appointed a special officer, and please try to do this, understand, this is a bit Sanskritized word, try to understand the meaning of that. The name, title of the officer was Devat Patan Nayak. What does it mean? 3 words, Dev, God, Utpatan, uprooting, Nayak, officer. An officer who uproots the idols of the gods. Who is appointing this? A Hindu king or a Muslim king? A Hindu king. Further he writes, hello, uproot only those idols and bring them to my court. Those idols which are made of gold and silver. Bring those idols to my court which are studded with diamonds and rubies. Leave the stone idols for ordinary people. Very simple. And they are here. Of course, this is never talked about, that Hindu kings destroyed temples. And there is a great essay by one in Frontline, December 95, which talks about destruction of temples by Hindu kings when they were fighting with each other, when 2 Hindu kings were fighting with each other. And of course, Hindu kings were also fighting with each other. Please note, it is not that only Hindu kings were fighting with Muslim kings. Hindu kings were fighting with each other. The victor Hindu king used to destroy Kuladevta idol. Now, Kuladevta, can somebody translate for me? Clan god. No shortage of that. We have multiple clan gods. So everybody is entitled for their own clan and the god. So the victor Hindu king used to destroy the defeated Hindu king's clan god, install his own this thing. So this is the basic thing of temples, which has been blown up, and last 30 years we saw that spectacle starting from Babri demolition to Ram temple consecration, where politics is in the driver's seat and religion is on the margins of the society. So that's where we are. So this period also, which I'm saying, one thing about temple destructions. Second thing, of course, I talked before I come to the how pluralism prevailed. Pluralism prevailed. It is only because pluralism prevailed that we have diverse tendencies, diverse things even today. Now, second thing, which of course has been used about Muslim kings demonization. Muslim kings demonization is the center of the political propaganda of the one which is ascendant. That's how Babri Mosque could be demolished. That's how Vishwanath Temple is being talked about. But what was the culture at that time? Before coming to that, let's see how did Islam come to India? Now, by and large, it will say, oh, you know, Muslim kings came, they spread Islam by force. But please note, friends, that Islam spread in India first on the Malabar coast. Malabar coast, when they came but as traders, and it is their intermixing with Hindus that Islam started growing in India. And the symbol of that is a mosque. Mosque which came up in Malabar coast in 7th century. That is still there. But Muslim kings who came here, they did not spread Islam. Islam spread here. Islam spread here, and Muslim kings we generally regard they were here for 700 years. Now, if they wanted to force their religion on the subjects, if they wanted to impose their religion on the subjects, they could have converted much more number of people than the 14% Muslims or 25% Muslims who were there at the time of partition. Because here I take the shelter of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda, one of the great gems of not only Bengal but whole country and the world. In his writings, we have ignored him, but in his writings, Swamiji tells us that it is wrong to say that Islam spread on the strength of the sword. ये कहना बिल्कुल गलत है कि इस्लाम तलवार की नोक पर फैला. To escape the tyranny of caste varna system, many people embraced Islam. Majority of Islam spread in India. Anyway, whatever that be, overall the culture which prevailed here was neither Hindu nor Muslim. The intermixture of the culture starts taking place right from the word go. Best of the things are accepted and they are propagated. That's why you see in all our things, if I begin with a simple language, many people think Urdu is a Muslim language. Let me tell you, Urdu is there only in India. There are 56 Muslim countries in the world, but Urdu is there only in India because it is a language which came because of the synthesis of Persian and North Indian Awadhi language. And that's how Hindustani, Urdu, these unique languages developed in India. This is how the synthesis and integration takes place. This is only one thing. And at humorous level, I'll give another example. I don't know. In Kolkata, probably I did not see one of my favorite dishes called biryani. Is it there? Is it popular? Okay. Yeah, because for biryani, I am very grateful to biryani because it helped me raise my weight from the earlier one to the present levels. And then I tried to investigate biryani. I came to know biryani came from Iran. And in Iran it is called biryan. Here we added more spices to it, better spices. India is the best place in the world to have spices, and it became biryani, which I think not only Hyderabad but most of the places will have the great taste of that. Now that is in food habits also. If you see, many food dishes are very popular. Many of the sweets, of course. In Bengal, one cannot talk of sweets except Bengali sweets, which are the biggest favorite for most of us. But there are other sweets also, like jalebi. You must have heard. Jalebi also came from Iran. Anyway, that's also something we have to remember. Now, recently, if you note that in our culture of harmony and this thing, pluralism, we have many places in the country which have Muslim kings' names, Muslim kings' name, like Faizabad, Allahabad, Mughal Sarai, and all that. So, particularly in North India, there is this plea for name change. So they started changing the name. So Faizabad became Ayodhya, Allahabad became Prayagraj, Mughal Sarai Junction became that Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Junction and all that. I hope you know about Deen Dayal Upadhyay. I will not go into that. I don't want to popularize that wrong ideology which has propagated about integral feminism. Anyway, so one of the journalists friend got very disturbed. He said, hey, what is happening? Why are they changing the names of the cities? What are they going to achieve out of it? So he went to the great historian of India, Irfan Habib, and he asked him, sir, why are they changing the names of this particular cities? So Irfan Habib, being a very profound scholar, he said, see, Indian culture is a mixed culture, which has a Muslim component, which has a Hindu component, and which has a bit of a Christian component also, other things also. So they said these present rulers, they want to remove the Muslim component from the culture. Then Irfan Habib takes a small this thing on him, he backfires on the journalist, and he says that, oh, if they want to change all those names, then why don't they begin with the name of the Home Minister of India, who is also called Chanakya? What is that? Amit Shah. Shah name also comes from Persia, no? Just if he meets you, just tell him, sir, your name comes from Persia, what will you do with this? Will you persist with this name? Once your rule is going further or all that? So, human culture is all an integrative culture. And at a profound level, I can tell you, recently, when somebody Fukuyama had popularized the theory of clash of civilizations. So in response to that, one of our great presidents of India, Dr. K.R. Narayanan said, civilizations don't clash. It is barbarisms which clash. That is the answer at his level. And at the same time, Kofi Annan, who was Secretary General of United Nations, he appointed a high-level committee to investigate about this clash of civilizations. And that document is still on the website. It is Alliance of Civilizations. What does this document say? That in the world, all the civilizations which have developed, it is always because of the interaction at different levels. It be religion, it be clothes, it be food, it be music, it be anything in our life, it is contributed by people of different religions. That's what makes it the culture richer. So in India also, if you see, like, of course, I am very fond of film music. So Hindi film music is particularly has its own uniqueness. But there is another uniqueness also, that there are beautiful Hindi bhajans in many Hindi films. And once BBC conducted a survey of the bhajans of Hindi films as to which are the most popular ones. And among the popular ones, bhajans like this, Man Tadapat Hari Darshan Ko Aaj, etc., came. But what was the most important thing? That in the top 10 bhajans, the singer of 7 bhajans was Muhammad Rafi. Writer of 6 of these was Shakil Badayuni. And the music composer was Naushad Ali. So this is our composite culture which we have inherited. Similarly, if you see the Sufi saint shrines, Nizamuddin Auliya, Hazrat Nizamuddin, and Khwaja Garib Nawaz, you see the visitors are not just belonging to Muslims. Hindus, Muslims, both people thrive at these shrines. Both shrines, like yesterday or day before when Rahul was stopped, he was going to the shrine of Shankar Dev. Shankar Dev comes in the Bhakti tradition. Kabir, Tukaram, Namdev, Shankar Dev, those who tried to reach out to the people with the moral values of the religion. So basically, this is what Indian culture is: interaction with each other, accepting good things from each other, And that's why I also recall one of the great phrases, great couplet from Vedas, which say, Ano Bhadra Kratvo Yantu Vishwata. Ano Bhadra Kratvo Vishwata. Let the noble thoughts come to us from all the universe. Let the noble things come to us from all the universe, and we will accept it. This is very much in contrast to the present policies where the so-called civilizational values, in the name of that, elite Brahminical values and Brahminical things are trying to be imposed in the country. So how did this culture, I'm not talking about the ills of the kingdoms. Kingdoms themselves are a very authoritarian regime based on the super exploitation of peasants, so I'm not appreciating that. But I'm appreciating that irrespective of kings, religion, people were intermixing with each other. And even kings, they were ruling, but not on the basis of religion. Muslim kings had Hindu officers, Hindu kings had Muslim officers. And here, I must tell, father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, this is one of surprises for me. I was trying to write something on Mahatma Gandhi's great book, Hind Swaraj. Hind Swaraj probably is one of the most popular works of Mahatma Gandhi. And in Hind Swaraj, I came across two, three pages on Indian history. And what does Gandhi write in that? Gandhi writes that Indian culture, Indian society has seen Muslim kings with Hindu subjects, Hindu kings with Muslim subjects living in a very particular cordial way. So this is what he says. And his disciple and the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, went to further add to that to say that it is not only kings and people living in harmony, but it is a people who mix with each other to give rise to a culture which he calls Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb. Now, Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb is a word Jawaharlal Nehru uses, and on this book I will recommend to my friends Discovery of India, 800-page book. If you can read, excellent. If you can't read, it is there in your pocket. How? Shyam Benegal's serial Bharat Ek Khoj. There are 50-60 episodes, and they are so beautiful and marvelous, giving so much enrichment to our understanding about Indian society and Indian culture that we will really be benefited. So this is what the pluralism in India thrived. Now the problem comes after the British came. Now I can humorously ask one question because this keeps bothering me all the time. You can tell me when did India get independence? No, it's not exam. Hello. No pass, no fail. All are pass. When did India get independence? 2014. 2014. Oh, okay. You are with Jhansi Ki Rani. Stage Jhansi Ki Rani. Now that is one. And our Prime Minister kept saying that we were a slave country for the last 1,000 years. Why 1,000 years? Muslim kings came, so India became slave. Now, friends, that's now how slavery is defined. Slavery is when country's wealth is drained away. Number one. Number two, slavery is when the country is being ruled by instructions from an outside ruler. So in that criterion, the Muslim kings who came here, they became part of this land. And our slavery begins with coming of British India, British people here. Why? Number one, they drained away our wealth. Number two, they were getting instructions from Britain as to what type of policies to apply here. So this is where I think, because of this, of course, a lot of good things also happened. Good things which happened that one is that they had to drain away our wealth. For draining away our wealth, they brought in railways, they brought in communication for administration, and for administrative purposes itself also, they introduced modern education. These are the positive changes. They did it for themselves, but they were really positive for the country. And it is because of this that a new India started emerging out of the shadows of the kingdoms. Kingdoms and its values, inherent values of hierarchy, birth-based hierarchy, birth-based hierarchy of India in India, of caste, class, and gender. So India started emerging from that. Now, as this India started emerging, new classes started coming up. New classes which started coming up, I basically say the industrialist businessman classes who set up industries, and Kolkata was probably the first city to get industrialized. Then we have workers coming in the industries, and third we have modern educated classes. So these form the basis of modern India. Why I am talking of them? These were the classes and their ideologies which synthesized the whole India. And there were some other groups which wanted to keep away from this. Which were these groups? Because India is not France. In France, the new classes come up, there is a massive revolution, and the old classes are done away with their ideology. India is a colonial state where these changes are taking place of modern education, modern industrialization, modern transport, etc., etc. Old classes are not disturbed. Remnants of old classes continue in the form of Raja, Nawab, Zamindar, Jagirdar. So two type of tendencies developed during freedom movement. One is that which come with the new changes, the emerging India. One is a sign of another people, those who persist, those who are not with these changes but still are persisting in their luxury. They are the ones who come up with the nationalism in the name of religion. Please note, this is very important. If we understand the roots of Muslim nationalism, Hindu nationalism, we will know how they are different from the emerging Indian nationalism. And three examples I'll give. There are a broad number of things you can take, like yesterday was Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's Jayanti. I don't have to tell you the name of his army. What was it? Azad Hind Fauj. Azad. Indian National Army word is rarely used. Azad Hind Fauj. You'll remember Bhagat Singh, Surya Sen, Azad, and Ashfaqullah. Mostly they were related to Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. You will always also remember this Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar coming up with Mook Nayak, then Bhavishkrit Hitkarni Sabha, Indian Labour Party, Independent Labour Party, Scheduled Caste Federation, and then finally keeping the outline of Republican Party of India. Then you also see another organization, name of the party you can guess. There is Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, there is Annie Besant, there is Sardar Baldev Singh, and there is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So just see the name pattern of names of this. Don't ask me in return what is there in the Shakespeare says, what is in the name. But here I am saying organizations' name have inherent agenda hidden in them. So there is Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, Republican Party of India, Bharatiya Rashtriya Congress. And here, Hindu Rajas, Muslim Nawabs, they come together in United India Patriotic Association. They pledge their loyalty to the British. And they say, these organizations like Congress and others, they are opposing you, this is bad, this is against our religion. And here also some organizations come up. Just guess the name of them. Initially in these organizations, only kings were there, landlords were there. Later on, some elite sections of society joined them. And here also I'll give the name of three organizations. Number one, there is Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Name of the party you recall? Muslim League. Then there is Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Name of the what party he joined? Hindu Mahasabha. Muslim League talked of Muslim nation. Hindu Mahasabha talked of Hindu nation. And in the name of Hindu nation, elite Brahminical people established another organization in 1925, which is the biggest organization of today. And if you can guess the name, I'll be very happy. Earlier they were wearing half pants. Now they are wearing full pants. Promotion. Everybody gets promotion. So Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. So please note the names. Write some names. I derive their ideology. Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, Republican Party of India, Bharatiya Rashtriya Congress, and Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha, and RSS for Hindu Nation. So, if I want to summarize the differences, I will put two great people, one great, another not great people for you as a comparison. Just see the comparison. Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar, I am choosing from this side, and Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar must be remembered for Kararam Temple movement, for Chaudhar Talab movement, and also in addition, one book was burnt in his presence. Can you guess the name of that? Manusmriti. Why he burnt Manusmriti? While burning Manusmriti, he must have thought Manusmriti gives the provisions of slavery. Manusmriti gives the provisions of slavery for Dalits and women. That's what I'm using in a broad sense. I don't accept it. Same Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar went on to become the chief architect of India's constitution. Right, wrong? So here is Ambedkar. Burning Manusmriti and bringing Indian constitution. And here is another person who was on a very top post. His name is K. Sudarshan. What K. Sudarshan said is being said today in a different language. But same thing is being said. What did K. Sudarshan say? K. Sudarshan said, Indian constitution is based on foreign values. Throw it away. Bring a constitution which is based on Indian holy book. Which book he is suggesting? Manusmriti. So Baba Sahib is burning Manusmriti, bringing in Indian constitution, and he is saying Indian constitution is based on foreign values. Throw it away, bring back the values of Manusmriti, which the RSS ideologues today use the word civilizational values. So in debates I see somebody says Indian constitution says this, so the RSS ideologue says, but our constitutional values are more important. What is constitutional values? It is not, they are not talking of Charvak, they are not talking of Buddha, they are talking of Manusmriti in a new language. So anyway, so this is where we stand today, friends. Here on one side there is a tendency which uphold pluralism, diversity, inclusiveness in the form of Indian nationalism. And here is another type of politics which talks of exclusion of others, which begins with the exclusion of people of other religion, then they end up going excluding others and others who disagree with them. Like Pakistan, classical example. In Pakistan, they begin with tormenting Muslims and Hindus and Christians. Then they went on to Qadianis, Shias, saying, oh, that you are not proper Muslims. So who is a proper Muslim, they will define. Now, who is a proper Hindu? If we go on the present stream, somebody sitting in the Prime Minister's office will decide who is a Hindu, who is a not, etc., etc. So this exclusionary process is unending one. And this is the one wherever nationalism comes in the name of religion, diversity, pluralism is the first victim of the whole process. Two examples I'm very fond of giving. Earlier, 3 years ago, I was not talking of it. Look at our neighboring countries. We were lucky, fortunate in a way, that we had Indian National Congress, we had Ambedkar, we had Bhagat Singh, we had Netaji Bose. All of them stood for secularism, democracy, and Indian, in a way, indirect way. Netaji was not there when Indian constitution was formed, but his values were precisely the same. And look at the countries like Pakistan. Pakistan, they tried to implement Islamic State, Sharia. And what is their condition today, you can see. Forget Pakistan, Buddhism, one of the great religions of the world. In Sri Lanka and Myanmar, there is an alliance of Buddhist Sanghas with feudal lords and army. And see the condition of Myanmar. They want to rule in the name of Buddhism. In the name of Buddhism, they are ruining the country. Pakistan, Afghanistan being ruined in the name of Islam. And same thing will go on if one Ram temple is followed by another place in Kashi, another place is Varanasi. Because these people, for them, there is a diverse agenda. And for this diverse agenda, I will now on one side, from this side, choose another person. And that is Jawaharlal Nehru. I many times feel Jawaharlal Nehru, many policies in 1970s, I would have written a book. Of course, I'm not that capable a person, but I would have written against Jawaharlal Nehru's policies in 1970. Today, in hindsight, I see that what he did was miraculous for such a country. He did not dream of temples and mosques and churches. He talked of temples of modern India. And what were his temples of modern India? This is one of the places of modern India where we are sitting today. Bhakra Nangal Ban, Bhakra Nangal Dam, Bhilai Steel Plant, public sector industries, IITs, CSIR, ISRO, BRC. These were the temples of modern India for him. And in 1990s, another person comes, 1980s, another person comes who has been sidelined in this inauguration, Lal Krishna Advani. He said, what is this Nehru saying? That these are the temples of modern India. Our temples are underneath the mosque. Our temples, one temple is there, another temple is there, etc. Go on destroying one mosque after the other and build the Ram temple. So these are the two sets of politics. And there is one of the secular poet of Pakistan, Hamida Riaz. Hamida Riaz was here in India when Babri Mosque was demolished. Hamida Riaz at that time wrote, she had the experience of Pakistan. She did not like what is happening in Pakistan. She loved India for what it had done so far. On 6 December 1992, she writes, अरे भाई तुम भी हम जैसे निकले, अब तक कहाँ छुपे थे, आ जाओ आपका स्वागत है इस गलत रास्ते पे. Something like that. So this is where, friends, we are heading, because these people who are from this side, it is just symbolically the right side of my body. It also reflects a right wing of politics. They are generally not concerned about the welfare of the people, the type of plannings which they did. The issues are related to emotions, and that is the biggest killer of pluralism. Mandir wahi banayenge, temples on one side. We have already seen the culmination of that. Then another thing I am very fond of saying, and that is about cow, beef. गौ हमारी माता है, मुसलमान उसको खाता है, इसलिए मुसलमान का राम नाम सत्य नहीं, राम नाम सत्य हिंदू का होता है. Sorry, I have not learned that yet. But anyway, 100 Muslims were lynched in last 8 years. 20 Dalits were lynched, and lot of money was collected in the name of Gaushalas. IIT Bombay has developed a Gaushala. I worked there for 27 years now. There is a Gaushala. Yesterday, director had all the time to go and inaugurate the renovated Gaushala. Then, of course, with this coming, I started reading about cow and all that. Long story. Cow as a symbol. Initially, cow was sacrificed during Vedic rituals. Not me. Swami Vivekananda lectures from Chicago to Almora. What does he write? He writes that beef was eaten during Vedic times. Then Brahminical reaction comes. This Lord Gautam Buddha says, don't kill animals unnecessarily. Brahminism goes into decline. Then Brahminism comes back, and Brahminism adopts cow as its symbol. And that's how you see many violences getting unleashed in the name of cow. Some Bajrangal worker keeping beef in the temple, spreading, oh, Muslims have done it. Violence takes place. Anyway, details of that not there. Interesting thing I'll tell you. So I started reading about it. I was worried that what will happen. In UP already, these animals on the street are a big menace. Eating plastic, attacking farmers' fields, etc., etc. Then I realized that this is not a real issue for them. This is a political issue for them. The way Ram Mandir is also a political issue for them. How did I come? How did I confirm my understanding? I came to confirm my understanding from one book by biography of one of our prime ministers. You know our prime minister who used to write poetry? Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So his biography is there, Har Nahi Manunga by Vijay Trivedi. I was reading, came to page number 236. What did I read? Atalji was once in US giving lectures, and one of the days after the lecture, he was enjoying his meals. So his neighbor tapped on his shoulder. Atalji, what are you doing? What you are eating is beef. Atalji smiled and said, beef है तो क्या हो गया? Indian गाय का थोड़ी है, ये तो American गाय का है, no problem. So this is how friends, they make issues which divide the society. Swamiji writes, Mahatma Gandhi writes, people have a right to choose their food habits. Even I welcome veganism, where one of my great friends, Sandeep Pandey, once came to my place. My wife was we both are very fond of him. We made all the good things from milk, kheer, then what is that, raita, etc., etc. Sandeep comes to my place. First thing he does, he takes out kheer, keeps out, and he keeps the raita outside. I said, what happened? Are you angry with me? He said, no, I am a vegan. And the thank you very much. No problem. So these things, unnecessary things are being brought in. So friends, what do we do? Today, we are in very dangerous situation where the very existence of democracy is under threat. Whenever there is a divisive politics, whenever there is a hatred against minorities, violence can take place. And here I must tell you, violence doesn't take spontaneously. Violence is orchestrated by people who benefit from here, who benefit from violence. Violence is orchestrated by those who benefit from the violence. And how did I learn from this? How did I learn this? Very interesting. You know that our MHRD minister, who was also working in that Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahut Thi. So when she became MHRD minister, some people say, hey, ye to kam padhi likhi hai. She got very angry in her usual style. She said, you call me kam padhi likhi? Look, I have brought a degree from Yale University. I was absolutely impressed. So I started following the research of Yale University. One of the research of Yale University confirms the research of my mentor, Asghar Ali engineer, another good friend, Paul Brass, saying what? Wherever communal violence is orchestrated, one party becomes stronger than before. And you guess the name of the party, no prizes for guessing that. Anyway, friends, in the last, what do we do? To restore pluralism, harmony, democracy, and the rule of law. A lot of things can be said, I will not go into that. My basic understanding is that this misconceptions against minorities, temple destructions, forcible spread of religion, cow, multiple families, terrorism, that is a global issue which I have not turned. If you want, we can take into that. These misconceptions are spread based on this. Hatred is generated. Believe me, love thy neighbor, love the people in society is a natural instinct. And hatred is constructed by political forces. Hatred is constructed by political forces, and they have done it from last 100 years to their gay abandonment. No resistance, no opposition from others who wanted to change the society. They were busy changing society, and these people from the retrograde side, they kept spreading misconceptions about this thing, and it seems temporarily they have upper hand in the whole thing. I hope you understand that thing which I am saying. So what we need to do, apart from seeing that such political forces do not come to power, apart from seeing that such political forces do not come to power, because when they come to power, all these things get magnified. So what do we do? Number one, political level, social level, the cultural cohesion has to be promoted. Pluralism has to be brought to the fore once again. And the misconceptions in the society which are there need to be combated through addas, community centers, by using YouTube videos, great films by friend like Anand Patwardhan, good material, good literature, simple leaflets and all that, talking of pluralism, harmony and democracy. That's what we need to do at the moment. Thank you very much.
We can take a few questions from the others.
Hello. Yeah. So this is a personal experience over the past few days of mine. Uh, a lot of people who I thought were very close and very secular, everyone seems to be coming up and saying, finally Lord Ram has come back. Finally the golden era is beginning again. So the first ninja reaction that I had was get rid of all of them. Is that the right way of dealing with them, or do I sort of try and
See, I think it is not easy to deal with them, I must. But today also, there is a section of people who are not firmly convinced. Some people are hard nuts. Don't try to break that. But there is a middle ground where through logic, reason, we can try to show them that even Lord Ram, and there is a very interesting essay by A.K. Ramanujan, 300 Ramayans. So that gives 300 versions of Ramayana are there already in South Asia. They have picked up only one version of Ramayana. And if you follow one of my young friend Ashok Kumar Pandey's videos, he has recently come out with a video on Babar or Babar ki Babri Masjid ke baare mein, something like that. Even 4 of my videos have come out on Babri Mosque. So we have tried to say that how things have been built up to create hatred. So your question is very right. There are so many things which need to be promoted. If you want, I can do one thing. I have prepared some 18 videos in English dealing with this question. I can say I'm going to send it to my friend Barnali, or she can share it with you, or you can get in touch with some of them. So that gives some sort of a whole picture of how these communal forces have over a period of time. One thing I agree with you, it's not easy because it is a close to 100 years hard labor. You can't imagine how much they have been working. While others have been working for democracy, march towards equality, on social consciousness, people have not worked. Remember, Noam Chomsky wrote that manufacturing consent. State sometimes manufactures consent for its benefit. Sometimes political forces manufacture consent for their benefit. So today, these political forces have succeeded to a great extent.
Yeah.
To a great extent. It's a big battle, but it has to be fought. And how that has to be fought, how we can add our little bit, that is up to you. So basically, but I will suggest that hard nuts out, they will break our teeth. It is better to deal with the middle ground, and the middle ground is small, but try to develop that middle ground and untapped ground. That will be a better strategy for our own success.
Yeah. So the Germans of the 1930s and 40s, when they became grandparents, they had to answer a question to their grandkids. What were you doing when they were taking over the country? Yeah. So I don't know if I'll become a grandparent ever, but
And you will become good with you will become. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
I don't know what answer I'll give them.
then you start working and then you tell them that I try to spread the truth. That's the minimum you can do that. Minimum. And if you can influence the coming elections, do that. And if you can spread this word, truth, at least you can tell your grandchildren, I was working for spreading the truth and we did not succeed. See, success is another thing, but effort is another. Effort all of us can do in our best possible capacity. So success and failure, it's a question of time also. They have worked for 100 years. You can't expect to be successful in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. It will take, it is going to be a long battle.
and they have affected all parts of our body fabric, national fabric, culture, literature, education, administration, police, judiciary, or name anything, and they have infiltrated it. So it's a hard battle. It's a very hard battle, uphill toss, but somewhere we have to begin. And success or failure, keep aside. Let's try to do whatever we can.
Any other question? Anybody else want to ask any question? Okay. If there's no question.
Thank Professor Ram Puniyani.